Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to customize your tank crew names without spending any gold in World of Tanks. So go ahead and start World of Tanks. I already have mine running in the background, so I'll just pull it up to the garage. Okay, so here we are. The first thing you need to do before you start making any changes is to make sure that each of your crew members have unique names. The name files are sorted by nation, so we have to make sure that all of the American tanks have names that are all unique first names and all unique last names. For instance, on the T-40 we have Jack, Stuart, Freeman, William, and Trent for first names, and last names as you can see. We have to go through all of our American tanks. It would probably be easier to use it by sorting by nation. So just go ahead and do that. And so we can check all of our tanks and make sure that none of them have any of each other's first or last names. Basically, you just have to make sure they're totally unique. Now, I had 17 crews when I first started doing this, and there's only one conflict, and that happened to be my my radio operator and loader on my German heavy crew. If this happens, you have a couple options. First, you can just retrain the crew member to 100% if you have the gold and just name him something, make sure he has a unique name. Or you can just think of a way to make it so that that doesn't matter. For instance, on this crew, I'm a Halo fan, so I changed all of their first names to Spartan and got around it that way. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. Once you have it so that the crew has a unique name, you can go ahead and start changing. For instance, let's make our T-40 crew into the Batman movie characters. So we have Jack Findon, Stuart Abraham, Freeman Manton, and William Costadel, Trent Bingham. Let's go ahead and open Notepad, make this easier. I believe it was Freeman Manton, yep. William Costadel, and Trent Bingham. Okay, once we have that, we can go ahead and exit World of Tanks. We'll go ahead and make a new folder and call it Crew Edits. Then we'll want to go to our World of Tanks folder and we're looking for res. Go ahead and copy this entire text folder and paste. Come on, let's go. Alright, then we can go ahead and open this, and since we're changing the T-40 crew, we want the USA Tankmen MO file. Go ahead and paste that in here. Now that we have this as a MO file, we need to change it to a usable file type. Go to tools.constructors.com, go ahead and convert MO to PO, find your new folder and file, go ahead and click convert, we'll upload it, download, and so it'll appear in your downloads folder, except it's a PO file. Let's go ahead and rename this to USA Tankman Test for editing purposes. Next thing we need to do is go to poedit.net, download the free translation editor. It's basically just takes text files and translates them to other languages. It's got no adware. It's completely free. Go ahead and download the setup and then run it, and you'll be able to open it from either the start menu or the desktop. Once you've got it open, we can start to edit the translation files. So we go to open, and we want our desktop. Go to crew edits, and open up USA Tankman test. You'll see a list of names. It starts off with the last names, and then it goes to the first names. First names are denoted by USAN. That's how you know it's a first name instead of a last name. Whereas a last name is just USA and then a numeral. This is to prevent confusion between names that could be both a first and last name. So let's make our crew. We want the commander to be Bruce Wayne. And then we'll make the gunner, the tech guy, Lucius Fox. Have the driver be the butler, Alfred Pennyworth. Then, let's see, the two police officers, we have Jim Gordon and, in the movie, Harvey Dent. Okay. Now what we have to do is look for these names. So we go Control F. And we're going to look for Jack. And so it takes us to Jackson, which is the last name. And we want the first name, Jack. So instead of Jack, we'll now make it Bruce. Now once we change this, every single Jack in the garage that has Jack as a first name will be changed to Bruce. This is why it's very important that you have unique names for each of your crew members. So if you change one, it doesn't change multiple crew members. Now we want to find Findon. It's a USA, so we know it's a last name, so we can go ahead and change it to Wayne. Next we want to find, I believe, Stewart as a first name. So this gives us the last name Stewart. We don't want that one. We want the first name, C-U-S-A-N, and we change that to Lucius. Now we change his last name. I believe it was Abraham. And there's the last name, Abraham, so it becomes Fox. Okay, next we have Freeman Manton. And that gives us a last name, but we want it as a first name. So there we go. We want to change this to Alfred. And it's already a last name highlighted, so we change it to Pennyworth. Next we want William Costadel. Give us the last names, and then find the first name. Change that to Jim. And then Costadel. Change it to Gordon. Finally, we have Trent Bingham. So, we change Trent to Harvey, and then Bingham Bingham to Dent. Okay, now we can go ahead and save it. Save as Tankman Test. Want to replace it with our changes. It'll yell because we haven't explicitly told it that we're translating to English, but it won't matter. Okay. So now we're all set. to check out our changes in World of Tanks. Just a few things to remember, quick recap. Each name has to be unique. When you change one here, everything in the garage is changed. So just keep that in mind. Alrighty. Okay, so we go ahead and open the crew edits. It already saves it as an MO file, so we can just copy this into our text file. Go ahead and get rid of the original, and then rename this to USA Tankmen. That contains our edits. Now we're going to take this whole text folder and copy it not back into res, but into res mods. And then find whichever patch you're on. This time it's 9.3. And go ahead and paste it. This makes it a modded folder. So basically whenever the game updates patches, you can just copy and paste this text folder, and so it's inter-patch compatibility. And we'll go ahead and start our game and see what happens. Okay, here we are back in the garage, and it looks like we were successful. The crew members' names have been changed according to the Batman characters. Now, let me show you a couple things, other things that you can do with this, and also some things to watch out for. I'll just go ahead and exit the game. One of the things that you can change is crew rank. I'll go ahead and show you using the files that I have created. I put mine in just MO edits. First I have all the nations that I have. I have the Great Britain Tankmen, Germany, USSR, which is Russia, and USA. Eventually I'll get around to the Chinese, Japanese, and French tanks, but I have plenty as it is. Anyway, I'll just open the original Germany Tankmen and show you. At the bottom, we have all of the German ranks. Starting here. Now, a full explanation of rank can be done here on the wiki, right here. And it explains about how rank works in the game. And it also gives you the corresponding ranks for each nation. Now for immersion, a lot of people just keep the regular ranks. To me it's a little confusing, so when I edited the names, I went ahead and changed them to the corresponding original American names. Just so instead of my Germans having like Ober Fieldwebel or something, I have no idea how to say it, they have just Master Sergeant. I just thought it'd be a little easier for me to keep track in my mind. So you can go ahead and do that, and to do that you just go ahead and edit, just like you would a regular name. You can also change ranks to whatever you want. You can make them Air Force ranks, or even fantasy ranks, or like sci-fi type stuff. Whatever you want to do. But keep in mind that those ranks are determined in-game by crew experience. So if you make them part of a title and a name, there's no way to make it unique to one crew member. I'll go ahead and put back my normal setup. Just go ahead and copy the text folder just like you did before into the mods. So just paste it in here. Copy and replace everything. Oh, yeah. Okay, and then I'll fire up my World of Tanks and show you some things that having to do with hiring new crew members. Okay, here we are back in my garage. In my setup, the T-40 crew is X-Men. I also have an Avengers tank. Like in this, I had to change the first name to a multiple name title, so I just made it Thunder God. But you can have more than one word in a title. No problem at all. Like I just made his first name The Incredible. Likewise, I have the Star Wars crew. Now, the thing here is you can't just have a blank for a first name. If you just have a blank, it inserts a hashtag space. And so that messes up, obviously, the first name. So I just made it by species. And here's what I was talking about earlier, where my loader and radio operator had the same name. I just made all of their first names Spartan for this crew, and then their last name, their name in the books, and then the number. That was my Halo crew. Also, you can have crews from pretty much whatever you want, like favorite TV show, shout out to The Mentalist here, and even your favorite author. I like the Sigma Force series by James Rollins, so yeah, I just made a crew for that. But yeah, you can pretty much do whatever you want. One thing you do have to watch out for is hiring new crew members. For instance, you unlock that cool new tank, and it needs something that the tank before didn't have. When you recruit a new member, it's best, especially after you've made a lot of edits, like to my American tree. Let's say I needed a new M4 gunner. Start him off hiring for free at 50%. That way you can make sure this one didn't happen to put a name that I already had. If I'm hiring a new gunner for a tank, that let's say I have the Star Trek crew in it, I don't want him to automatically have the name Chewbacca. So I hire him at 50% first, then if he's okay, I can go ahead and train him to whatever level I want, and then I can go and edit the files again and change his name. So that's just something to be careful of when you're hiring new crew members, to not train one for 100% right away. Make sure his name does not conflict before you do it. You can also, if you have extra space in your barracks, you can go ahead and look ahead in the tech trees. Like for instance, I'm unlocking both Soviet tank destroyer lines, and well, honestly, I haven't gotten to tier 6 yet, so I have a whole other crew that I need to hire. I wanted it to be Hogan's Heroes crew, so I went ahead and hired everybody beforehand just at 50%, filled my barracks, and so I could just go ahead and change the names without messing too much. So that's pretty much it with changing crew members' names. Just a few words of caution. Definitely set it up in this format where you put everything in the res mods folder. If you mess with things in the res and make a mistake, then you can't rechange it. Here, if you make a mistake, you can just, if worst comes to worst, you can just delete this whole text folder and everything will go back to default in the garage. No problem at all. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Other than that, enjoy, and hope you guys have a good World of Tanks career and be able to personalize some of your crews a bit more, because I know as higher tiers come, you end up seeing those same guys a lot longer. So if they have cool names, then go ahead and enjoy those.